Hello students, welcome back to this English class in this week with a new topic of the grammar section. The name of the topic is subject verb agreement. So students, we already know to divide the sentence into subject and predicate. So in our primary school, the first topic of grammar that we deal is the subject and predicate, right? So the English form of writing a sentence is subject, verb, object, right? So we already know how we divide the sentence into a subject. So and the remaining part of the sentence is the predicate. So in today's class, we shall learn about the subject and verb agreement. So as you can see in the picture that is given for you here, the subject and verb are shaking hands. That means to speak fluently or to write correct English language, we must always take care that the subject and the verb that follows agree with each other. Before we proceed further, in a quick revision, let us see what is subject. Okay. Subject is generally the noun. That means the person or the thing about which we are talking in that particular sentence. Right? Then what is a verb? Very basic question. Verb is a word denoting action. We all know that. Then what is subject verb agreement? See, once again you can see in the picture that the subject and the verb are shaking hands. That means they must agree, they must go in good terms with each other. So what does that agreement of subject and verb means? It is very simple to understand. See, subject verb agreement simply means that the subject and the verb must agree in number. Number is, hope you know what do we mean by that? Number, see, one singular, many plural. Okay, that is agree in number. What does that mean in a more simple way? It is nothing but that means both need to be singular or both need to be plural. Both means the subject and the verb. Either they both should be in singular or they both should be in plural. Only then we say that the subject and verb agree with each other. Now see, to understand this subject verb agreement, the first and most important rule in subject verb agreement is that the verb must agree with the intended number of the subject. Again, it means the same as I told you. If subject is singular, verb also is singular. If subject is plural, verb is also plural. Now to accomplish this rule, you must follow two tasks. Before the agreement of subject and verb, what you should be able to do is identify the real subject. So, when a sentence is given to us, we must be first able to identify, point out the correct subject, and then we need to determine whether that subject is singular or plural. If you follow these two tasks properly, then you will have no problem in accomplishing the subject verb agreement. What are those? Listen carefully once again. First, you need to identify or find out what is the real subject, and then find out whether the subject is singular or plural. Now see here, subjects and verb must agree in number with one another. Number is the same, singular or plural. Therefore, if a subject is singular, then the verb has to be singular. Likewise, if the subject is plural, then the verb has to be plural. Now, the nouns that we have in our sentences, if you add a s to the singular form of verbs and remove the s to the plural form of verbs, means if it is a noun in singular, most of the times when you add a s to the end of the noun, it becomes plural. Just see this example. The cat chases the rat. Now, the subject here is the cat, but the cat is singular, only one cat. Okay, therefore, verb that is chases becomes singular. Chases is singular. See in the second example, the cats chase the rat. Okay, see, more than one cat, so it becomes cats, that is plural. Now the verb also goes to plural. Chases changes into chase. Read carefully the given example. You will understand what I am trying to tell you. If the noun is singular, verb also is singular. If the noun becomes plural, verb also becomes plural. See, one more example. The boy speaks loudly. Okay. Here both subject and verb are singular. The boys speak loudly. Okay. Here both subject and verb are plural. One more example for you. The girl dances. See, singular subject and singular verb. The girls dance. Plural subject, plural verb. Therefore, it is important to ensure that subjects and verbs always agree with each other. Now you understand how the sentence should be formed, keeping in mind the important aspect of the agreement of the subject and the verb. The relationship between subjects and verbs lie at the heart of grammatically correct English. So if we need to write grammatically correct English, then we must be very careful that the subject and the verb agree with each other. Subject verb agreement unifies a sentence, gets together the whole meaning of the sentence and makes it easier to understand. when the subject and verb agreement takes place, then it becomes easy to understand the sentence, the meaning of the sentence. Now, when you are doing this particular exercise of subject verb agreement, or you are framing your own sentences so as to get correct agreement of the subject and the verb, then there are some important things that you should always remember. What are those? Let us see one by one. See, very basic thing is, if the subject is singular, the verb must be singular also. See this example. She writes every day. She is a pronoun which is singular. One person, singular, she. Writes, verb, singular. She writes every day. Clear? Second important point is, if the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. Now see, for example, they write every day. Now they means more than one person, many. Okay, so that is plural form. Now write also becomes plural. In the previous slide, I told you that verbs, to form their plural, they remove the S. You can see WRITES, writes, verb form is singular, whereas WRITE, write, is the plural form of the verb. Now you are getting the difference. Hope I am making things clear to you. I'll repeat these 2 points once again for you because they are very, very important. Number one, if the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. Number two, if the subject is plural, the verb also must be plural. Right? Third important point. When the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and, use a plural verb. As you can see in the picture, that is just for you to understand the example sentence that I have given you. All the pictures in the slides are just to make things easier for you to understand. Don't relate those pictures to any other thing. They are just examples of the sentences given as examples for you. Okay? The captain and his team have arrived. Now see, two or more nouns. The captain is one noun and team is collective noun, right? So we have two nouns. That is why we use a plural verb called have. The captain and his team have arrived. Hope you are getting it. Number 4. When two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or nor, then we use a singular verb. I know this will become a bit difficult for you to understand. Read the slides over again and again, write them down, solve some examples, then I am sure you will get it. I am sure my students will be able to pick up this. Number 4. When two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or nor, then use a singular verb. See, for example, the chairperson or the CEO approves the proposal before proceeding. Okay. Now see, connected by or. Okay. You can see a or in the sentence, and we are seeing two or more singular nouns. The chairperson is one singular noun and The CEO is another singular noun. So two singular nouns in the same sentence connected with the word or, then the verb is singular. Approves. The chairperson or the CEO approves the proposal before proceeding. Number 5. The words and phrases each one, either, neither, everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, nobody, somebody, someone, and no one are all singular pronouns, and they require a singular verb. Now see, when you say each means we are talking of one person. Each of you means each one of you, correct? Either means this or that, either one. So again it is one. Now see, everyone, everybody. So these all count as singular pronouns, and so they require a singular verb. Let's see some examples. Each of the participants was willing to be recorded. See, each, singular pronoun. So, verb is was, singular verb. Neither alternative hypothesis was accepted. See, neither, singular pronoun, was, singular verb. I will offer a gift card to everybody who participates in the study. See, everybody and participates. See how the connection is. Hope you are able to make out. No one was available to meet with me at the preferred times. No one, singular pronoun, was, singular verb. Excuse me. Number 6. Non-count nouns take a singular verb. Non-count means generally we call countable and uncountable. Countables are those which we can define using a number. Non-count is that which you cannot define using a number. Say for example, success. You don't say I have one success, I have two success. Success is not counted. It cannot be counted in numbers. So such nouns, abstract nouns, generally they take a singular verb. Let's see for example here. Education is the key to success. Hope you are getting it now. See, is a singular verb because education, an abstract noun, is also a non-countable noun, abstract noun. You cannot count it in numbers, right? Education are the key to success is a totally wrong sentence. That is why pay attention. Education is the key to success. Take another example. Diabetes affects many people around the world. Although the word seems plural here, which word? Diabetes. No, it is a non-count noun. Okay, you cannot count it. Diabetes affects many people around the world. See one more example. The information obtained from the business owners was relevant to include in the study. Now here the subject is the information, not the business owners. That you should identify. That is what I had told you very first, that first you have to identify the correct subject. Okay. See, the information is the subject in our sentence given here. That is why it goes with singular verb was. Okay. See one more example. The research I found on the topic was limited. The research is our subject. So the research is a non-count. You cannot count it in numbers. You cannot count that research in numbers. It is uncountable noun, abstract noun, right? The research I found. So the subject here is the research. It is singular non-count noun. So it takes a singular verb was. Number 7. Some countable nouns in English such as earnings, goods, odds, surroundings, proceeds, contents and valuables only have a plural form and take a plural verb. Like in the previous slide, you read non-countable, non-count nouns take a singular verb. The opposite of it is countable nouns, some countable nouns, as these examples given here, they take a plural form. For example, the earnings for this quarter exceed expectations. Now the subject in the sentence is the earnings. You will have a question that the word earnings is having a S. So it is a plural. But they are taken as one noun. Okay. The earnings for this quarter exceed expectations. So countable nouns, they make a plural form. Earnings is the plural form. So exceed, the verb also is in plural form. See one more example. Locally produced goods, goods, plural form, have the advantage of shorter supply chains. Have is again plural verb form. Okay. Number 8. In some sentences beginning with there is or there are, the subject follows the verb. Here a slight change takes place. Since there is not the subject, the verb agrees with what follows the verb. Very rarely, in some cases, the subject follows the verb. Otherwise, we saw that the subject precedes the verb. Subject, verb, object, that is the pattern. In some rare cases, that is sometimes when the sentence begins with there is or there are, then the subject comes after the verb, and so the verb agrees with the following subject, right? Let's see, for example, there is little administrative support. Now here the subject in our sentence is the administrative support, not the word there because it comes first. No, the subject is administrative support, so it is singular, so it takes a singular verb is. Okay. See one more example. There are many factors affecting teacher retention. Here, our subject in the sentence is factors, not the word there. Therefore, factors is plural, so verb also goes plural. There are many factors affecting teacher retention. Excuse me. Now see, number 9. Some collective nouns are words that imply more than one person but are considered singular and take a singular verb with them. Some examples are a group, a team, a committee, a family, and a class. Are you understanding? Collective noun. Collectively, a group of certain same type of people or things is collectively given one name sometimes. Now, for example, we have, say, for example, 40 boys and girls in a class. But when we address, we say this is a class of 40 students. So collectively, boys and girls together is called a class, right? Likewise, team. A team. That team is singular. Singular collective noun. But the team consists of, say, 11 players in a cricket match. Say 11 players together form a team. But we call it a team. And we consider that word singular, a team. Okay, see how it works. Example, the group meets every week. Now the group is the collective noun for a number of people assembled there. So meets, the group is taken as singular, so verb also goes singular, meets. Okay, one more example. The committee agrees on the quality of the writing. The committee, that committee consists of, say, 6 or 8 or 10 members, but together that whole body of people is called the committee. So the committee is taken as singular collective noun. Therefore, it also takes a singular verb. The committee agrees on the quality of the writing. Hope you have understood the subject verb agreement and how you should identify the subject, and then you should frame your sentence so that the verb agrees with the subject. Here are one or two examples which I have solved for you. By solving these again in your notebook, you will understand what exactly subject verb agreement is. I have given the answers at the end of the slide here, but still let us read and understand. Subject verb agreement. This is practice exercise which I have solved it for you. Now the question is, choose the correct answer. So there is one sentence given which has a blank in it, and below you have 4 options. Out of those 4, you need to choose the correct option that should be written in the blank. Let us take the first example. Sentence number 1. Anyone dash to see the film, please stand up. Now the options given are who want, who wants, that want, that wants. Now when you read the sentence carefully again, obviously you will come to the correct answer. What is that? Anyone who wants to see the film, please stand up. Hope you are getting what is subject verb agreement. I had told you each one, anyone, no one, someone, somebody, all count as singular pronouns. Therefore, wants verb takes singular. Now see sentence number 2. Each boy and each girl dash to participate in the competition. Options are asked, are asked, is asked. What should be the correct answer? Each boy and each girl is asked to participate in the competition. Is asked should be your correct answer. Sentence number 3. The Olympic Games dash every 4 years. Options given are is hold, is held, are held. See, the Olympic Games are held every 4 years. Hope you are getting good. Here is the exercise for you to practice. It is the same way that I have given you in the previous slide. Choose the correct option and rewrite the sentences. So students, read the sentence properly. There are two options given in the bracket. Choose the correct one and rewrite these sentences in your notebook and practice them. In this slide, you can see 5 sentences. In the next slide, you can see 5 more sentences. Please do practice them and write them in your notebooks giving correct answers. All the best.